Info. 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 Hello. Last time, we learned about the introduction of kings and queens who have ruled in the British Isles since the days of the Romans. Today, we are going to learn British kings with names start with letter A. Here's the part 1.
Aed.
Born, AD 840. Died, AD 878. King of Scots. He became king of the Picts in AD 877, when he succeeded his brother Constantine I, but reigned for less than a year. He was reputedly murdered by his first cousin, Giric, the son of Donald I, a rival for the throne.
Aed Find.
Died, circa AD 778. King of Scots from AD 768 to AD 778. He invaded the Pictish heartland early in his reign, but the results of his efforts are not known.
Aed Findliath.
Died, circa AD 879. High King of Ireland from AD 862 to AD 868. In AD 861 he joined with the Norse force against the ruling High King, Aelle. On his death a year later, he became High King and turned against his former allies. Over the next 5 years of his reign he was greatly troubled by inroads made by the Vikings, but won an important battle against them at Killinary in AD 868. Aelfwald. Died, AD 749. Reigned from AD 713 to AD 749, was an 8th century king of East Anglia, an Anglo-Saxon kingdom that today includes the English counties of Norfolk and Suffolk. The last king of the Wulfingers dynasty, Aelfwald, succeeded his father Aldwulf, who had ruled for 49 years. Aelfwald himself ruled for 36 years. Their combined reigns, with barely any record of external military action or internal dynastic strife, represent a long period of peaceful stability for the East Angles. Aelle. Died, circa AD 514. King of Sussex. According to the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, he established the South Saxon kingdom after landing around AD 477 and defeating a force of Britons at a place called Simnesora. With his third son Cissa he besieged an old Roman fort at Pevensey held by Britons in AD 491 and massacred the occupants. He came to be regarded as Bretwalda, or overlord, among the Anglo-Saxon kings of southern England, although at this time the success of the invaders was not certain and the title was little more than honorary. Aelle. Died, AD 588. King of Dara, circa AD 560 to AD 588. A son of Ida, he was the first king of this small kingdom, roughly Humberside, to establish independence from Berkshire, roughly Northumberland. On his death, the kingdom was taken by his brother, Ethelric, who ruled Berkshire after his father, and his 2 sons fled the kingdom. Ethelric became the first king of Northumbria. Aelle. Died, AD 867. King of Northumbria, from AD 866 to AD 867. He was chosen to be king following the removal of the unpopular Osbert. Soon afterwards, a large Norse army that had invaded in AD 865 took advantage of the royal infighting to seize York, the chief city of Northumbria. After resolving their dispute, Osbert and Aelle mounted a joint attack in AD 867. They were at first successful, but at length lost their army in a climactic battle. Osbert was killed in the fighting, but Aelle was sacrificed to the Norse war god Odin in a gruesome ritual. The leader of the Norsemen, Ivar the Boneless, justified the killing by falsely claiming that Aelle had slain his father by throwing him into a pit of vipers. Aesc. Died, AD 512. King of Kent from AD 488 to AD 512. Son of Hengist and nephew of Horsa, the first Jutish kings of Kent. In AD 488 his father died and Aesc succeeded to the kingdom. He was regarded as a powerful commander, and many of his battles against the Welsh and the men of Kent are recorded in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Although his father and uncle are regarded as the first kings, Aesc, also given as Aesc, provided the dynastic name of Oisingers. Aescwine, 1. Born, AD 494. Died, AD 587. King of Essex, circa AD 527 to circa AD 587. He is thought to have been the founder of the small kingdom of East Saxons, which, with London as its capital, was later absorbed by Wessex. Aescwine, 2. Died, AD 676. King of Wessex, AD 674 to AD 676. He was the son of Cenphus and a descendant of King Coel. Aiden, mac Gabrain. Died, AD 606. King of Scots, circa 575 to 606. Ordained a dund by his cousin Columcille, St. Columba, in what was probably the first Christian coronation in Britain. Aiden was a descendant of Fergus More and did much to consolidate the kingdom of Dalriada. Influenced by St. Columba, he sought an alliance with the king of the O'Neill dynasty in Ulster to protect the monastic community founded by St. Columba on the small island of Iona. This was achieved at Drumset soon after Aiden's coronation. Sometime between AD 580 and AD 585 he captured Orkney and the Isle of Man respectively, thus extending his kingdom. During his reign he fought many battles against the Picts, Britons and Angles, but was finally defeated in AD 603 by Aelfwald at Diggerstan, near Liddesdale. As Aiden lost most of his army and a son in the battle, the Northumbrian ruler was free to advance farther north and west. At his death, Aiden was over 70 years old and was succeeded by his son Neochaid. Alchred or Elhred, king of Northumbria, AD 765 to AD 774. Claiming to belong to the Bernician royal house, he deposed Aelhwald Moll in 765. He is known to have been a supporter of missions to Europe and was in contact with the Frankish king Charlemagne. Deposed in favour of Aethliad, he sought shelter among the Picts. Aldfrith. Died, AD 705. King of Northumbria, AD 685 to AD 705. The son of Oswy's mistress, Aldfrith combined statesmanlike qualities with a reputation as a man of letters. In his pursuit of learning, it is said he exchanged an estate in return for a book that had been brought by a monk from Rome. He was succeeded by his 8-year-old son, Osred. Aldwulf, 1. King of East Anglia, AD 663 to AD 713. He was the son of Aethlia and a Northumbrian princess, Heraswith of Deira. Aldwulf, 2. King of Sussex. He reigned briefly circa AD 765 and is known to have made a land grant to the church. Alexander I, the Fierce. Born, circa 1080, died, April 11, 24, probably Stirling, Stirlingshire, Scot, King of Scots, 1107 to 1124. Fifth son of Malcolm III, Canmore, the first king of all Scotland, and Margaret of England. He was born at Dumbarton and succeeded his elder brother Edgar as king. He ruled only that part of the kingdom to the north of the Forth and Clyde, as the south, Cumbria, Strathclyde and southern Lothian, had been bequeathed to David, his younger brother, for him to govern as earl. As a devout patron of the church, Alexander did much to strengthen the religious independence of his kingdom. He revived the see at Dunkeld, established an Augustinian priory at Scone and an abbey on the island of Inchcombe. During his reign many new castles were built, including a new royal castle at Stirling. He maintained good relations with Henry I and encouraged Norman settlement in lowland Scotland, where feudalism was introduced as a system for holding land and castles built in the Norman style. He took an active part in Henry's campaign against the rebellious Welsh kings in 1114 and married Sibylla, Henry's illegitimate daughter. The marriage produced no legitimate offspring, although descendants of his natural son, Malcolm mac Heth, later made unsuccessful claims to parts of Caithness. He was succeeded by his younger brother David I on his death at Stirling. He was interred at Dunfermline's Abbey Church. Significant events of Alexander I's reign, 1112. Berwick-upon-Tweed becomes the first royal burgh in Scotland. 1114. With Alexander's help Henry I receives oaths of obedience from Welsh kings. Alexander II. Born, 1198. Died, 1249. King of Scots from 1214 to 1249. The son of William I, the Lion, and Ermengarde de Beaumont. He was born at Haddington and succeeded his father at the age of 16. His accession was immediately disputed, and an army was gathered by Donald MacWilliam, a rival to the throne. They soon landed from Ireland but were defeated by the Earl of Mar, who ordered the execution of the leaders. During Alexander's reign there was no serious conflict with England, and he was married to King John's eldest daughter, Princess Joan, in 1221, but the relationship was far from stable. As the young Scottish king had red hair, John boasted of how he would hunt the red fox cub from his lair, but John was being forced by his barons to sign the Magna Carta, and Alexander stood firmly with them. Following a successful campaign in the north of England, the barons paid homage to Alexander, but following King John's death the barons broke the agreements made with Alexander, and he raised an army against them. He was unsuccessful and, constrained to come to terms with England, had to do homage to the new king, Henry III. He was an able politician however, and gave up his claims to Northumberland, Westmoreland and Cumberland in order to agree the peace. This led to the Treaty of York of 1237, which fixed the borders between the two countries roughly where they are today, and Alexander received estates in northern England worth £200 a year. It was an uneasy peace, however, and it was 7 years until the relationship improved with the betrothal of Henry's 3-year-old daughter, Margaret, to Alexander's son and heir. He was an intelligent and energetic monarch. As well as being a good soldier, he governed wisely and introduced measures to modernize the administration of his kingdom. As a devoted patron of the church he was responsible for the founding of several important monasteries and abbeys. Despite these progressive achievements, he was still very much a king of his times. This was demonstrated by his punishment of those present at the brutal murder of Bishop Adam of Caithness, when he ordered that the hands and feet of 80 men be cut off. Princess Joan died childless in 1238. Alexander's second wife, Marie de Coucy, daughter of Baron de Coucy of Picardy, provided his successor, Alexander III. Alexander II died after falling ill with a fever at Carrara, an island opposite Oban, whilst en route to join his naval fleet for an expedition in which he hoped to wrest the Hebrides from King Haakon IV of Norway. He is buried at Melrose Abbey. Significant events of Alexander II's reign. 1215. Alexander receives homage of the northern English barons. 1216. King John dies of dysentery. Henry III ascends his father's throne. 1221. Alexander marries Henry's sister, Joan. 1237. Treaty of York fixes Scottish border with England. So that's it for today. What are your thoughts about this video? Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and click the notification bell. If you want to learn facts about something or someone, just watch on info.